Now, going back to the story that we shared earlier on Zimbabwe inciting violence allegations, the Zimbabwe opposition members of Parliament for Citizens Coalition for Change, CCC, Job Sikhala, will spend more days in prison. This is after his bail application was denied several times on a controversial basis, with the magistrates and judges claiming that they had a propensity of committing similar offences. The parliamentarian and his counterpart, Godfrey Sithole, also a member of parliament, have been in jail for more than 90 days. They are facing charges of inciting public violence to avenge the murder of a party activist, Mliswa Ali. Independent outspoken legislator Themba Mliswa has claimed the judiciary in the country is being manipulated by politicians who persecute their opponents. Now, joining us tonight, NNC Continental Prime is a member of the Zimbabwe Parliament, Themba Mliswa. He joins us live from Harare in Zimbabwe. A very good evening to you, Themba. Honourable Themba, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's Honourable Themba Mliswa. I know it's difficult to pronounce some of these names, but I thought I would just make sure that it's pronounced well. But you actually have tried.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Now, how would you describe the judiciary in your country, Zimbabwe? Would you say it's independence? Is it truly independent, or does it work for the ruling ZANU-PF?
You've got to appreciate that as a legislator, one of the roles of parliament is to make sure that there is peace, order, and good governance. Peace, order, and good governance. And this really, in Zimbabwe, is achieved through various legislative agendas which are there. One of them is the Chapter 12 and 13 of the Constitution, which has independent commissions. And the judiciary is certainly one of those which is expected to be independent in terms of its execution of duty and its mandate, which means we are supposed to be exposed to judicial prudence, in that no one is above the law and the justice is for everyone. I repeat, justice is for everyone. It cannot be selective, because the law is the law. And I think everybody is entitled to justice. Justice is the last line for anybody to get hope from. And if it's seen not to be adhering to its independence, it becomes a problem. And the current situation in Zimbabwe is unbecoming. It's never been seen before, where it's pretty blatant that there is some political interference by certain individuals, especially the ruling party. I used to be in the ruling party myself, and I am also one of those people who was persecuted, not prosecuted, but persecuted due to frivolous charges and political persecution because of you basically disagreeing with others within your party, and because of factional politics, which are there. And yet, at the end of the day, we are not supposed to be using state institutions to settle our personal or factional fights which are there. So the Zimbabwe judicial system right now leaves a lot to be desired. It's not what is expected in terms of the Constitution.
Now, Honourable Mliswa, let's talk about opposition parliamentarians, your colleagues, Job Sikhala and his counterpart, Godfrey Sithole. It's 90 days now that they've been in custody, yet the courts have denied them bail. The courts did say, these two individuals have a propensity to commit more violence. What are your thoughts on that? I know you earlier said that the judiciary should be independent and should be the last hope of the common man. Do you feel in this statement made by the court that those two members of parliament do have a propensity to violence? Are these legitimate grounds?
No, they're not legitimate grounds. Even if they had the propensity to commit more crime, the bail conditions should stipulate clearly conditions which make sure that they're not able to do that. If they violate that, then they face the full wrath of the law. There is no situation which cannot be given a bail. Even murderers, first-degree murderers, are given a bail, yet they kill people. They've not killed anybody. If there's anything, the person that they've been fighting for has been killed, and yet the person who also orchestrated the violence, the councillor belonging to ZANU-PF in Nyatsime, is scot-free, yet he incited violence, and he's nowhere near the courts, he's nowhere near the police, and yet Honorable Job Sikhala and Stoller were defending. There are members who are elected by people to defend the people in the constituencies, to represent people in the constituencies. So there's no reason why they cannot be given bail. They have a big social standing. They will not abscond. And Honorable Job Sikhala is a friend of the court by the virtue of being a lawyer. So I don't think he's one who would be able to do that. And Honorable Stoller, too, is a credible person. They've not committed these crimes before. So why would you want to then give them the tough
now, Honorable Mliswa, you're member of parliament, a parliamentarian in Zimbabwe, and you're also a citizen. Next, we're in a penultimate year to a general elections, and we've seen how independent struggle parties like the ANCs, ZANU-PF, and also MPLA in Angola recently won elections. There's growing disapproval to the government of Emerson Mnangagwa. Are you confident that the elections next year will be free and fair?
No, certainly it becomes very difficult as a legislator to really say that the election should be free, fair, and credible. Free, fair, and credible when this sort of behavior is being exhibited by the state itself, because we must be able to understand that the state is for everyone. The state is not for certain individuals or the ruling party. We respect the ruling party, it's the government of the day. But there's the opposition, the independent people like myself who represent people, but who are still Zimbabwean, and we are there for the peace, order, and good governance of the country. So we cannot then be told to keep quiet when part of our role of oversight is to expose ills which have destroyed the country, the human rights violation, the violence which is there, and the corruption which is there. And you cannot have a system where when you speak, they want to go for you. Honorable Job Sikhala and Honorable Godfrey Stoller are well known for being outspoken. And in being outspoken, they're being targeted. So if legislators who are elected by the people to speak for the people, for national interests, are being persecuted, who then shall stand for the people?
Thank you very much, Honorable Themba Mliswa. We do appreciate your time, and thanks for talking to us in News Central.
And I would like the international community to clearly support these two members of parliament, because what is happening to them is not fair. I speak without fear and without favor that our country deserves better in terms of the judiciary. Judiciary must have a conscience. Their conscience must be their master, their judiciary for the people and not for individuals.
Thank you, Honorable Themba Mliswa. Do appreciate your contribution.